Good evening and happy Sabbath. I just want to say welcome to our online concert, Sax at Dusk. What a wonderful way to bring in the Sabbath. I don't know where you are, but where I am right now, I look out of my window and I see the sun setting. And it takes me back to my days in Mandeville, Jamaica, when we were at the infamous West Indies College, now the Northern Caribbean University. And we would gather at sunset and we would open our hymnals and we'll sing songs such as the sun rolls down the distant west. And I'm taken back to that right now. I know that we're going to have a wonderful time together because we're going to be taken on a journey by someone who has spent his life dedicated to the Lord, dedicated to playing music worthy of any stage, but more so worthy of our stage on the church front. And so we are going to be blessed tonight as we listen to music, as we're taking on this journey. Sax at Dusk. Before we do this, however, let's just invite the Lord's presence to be with us. We thank you, dear Jesus, for the week that you have given to each and every one of us. And this evening, we are truly blessed and thankful that we can bring in the Sabbath hours wherever we are in the world. We can bring them in with music and your words. We thank you for the musician who you have placed and given the talent and given the ability to hone his talent and his skills, and who you have blessed tremendously and in such a way that he now has dedicated his life just to give back to you. And so we are going to be taken on a journey. Guide us, bless us, and travel with us as we go along the pathway this evening. Help us that as we go through these Sabbath hours, we will keep them holy. And Lord, we will remember you at all times. Thank you once again, we pray in Jesus' name. And so let's just sit back. Let's sit back and let's listen as we're told that day by day, and with each passing moment, that God is with us. God has always been with us. He's always been faithful to us. And I shouldn't even say since, God has been faithful. And we today need to just stand on his promises. I welcome my good friend, my brother of many years, Courtney Fadlin, as he comes forward this evening and as he takes us along this journey. Wow, well, 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 well. Wow. Well. Thank you, Courtney, for those pieces. And
You're welcome.
I just want to welcome all those who have tuned in. Um, we've been getting comments and from all around the world. I want to thank a few people that I actually caught your comments. Keep those comments coming in. Claudia, thank you. Andrea, Tony, thank you for your comments. I just want to give a shout out to my brother and friend and one of our um, fellow brothers in the music fraternity, Courtney. Paul Lee is tuned in all the way from London, even though it's after midnight over there for him. And Trendon, thank you. And one of our other friends, Guyton Wade, Rusi, as we call him, as also tuned in. And it's wonderful to know that they are there. Nadia, and I think Nadia is all the way out there in California. Welcome. Just keep those comments coming. And isn't it wonderful to know that God has been faithful to us? I know we've been on a journey, Courtney, together for many years, and it's so funny. It's been now around 40 years since I've known you, or even a little over 40 years, and that's the journey. But God has been faithful to us throughout these years. We've gone through many things, we've gone through many scrapes together, but yet we are still here today. God has been faithful. Um, and that's why it's so important, as I said earlier, for us all to stand on God's promises. And it takes me back to the story in the Bible of Jacob, right? And if we remember that story well, it was Jacob working for his uncle Laban and fell in love with a beautiful damsel. And ooh, which one of us as men have not fallen in love with a beautiful woman? But when he went to his uncle, he said, "I would like to have her for my wife. I'd like to have her." And he was told, "Okay, you need to work for 7 years. 7 years, right? If you work for 7 years, if you're faithful to me for this period, I will give you my daughter to marry." Jacob was faithful. But yet, on that night, when he was given the young lady, and when he thought that he had Rachel, only to find out that it wasn't Rachel who he was given Leah. Isn't it a wonderful thing to know that God is totally different from man? When we stand on God's promises, we know that whatever he promises to us, we will receive. And so it's just so fulfilling to me, because I know that God has promised to me eternal life if I am faithful. So I am looking forward to going to heaven. I am so glad that God is faithful and God has promised me. And so one of these days, I am going to get to heaven. I know that I am going to heaven. I've got to go to heaven. And so I'm going to sit back as you come again, Courtney, to tell us about being glad. Tell us about heaven. And then just wrap up the section by tell us about the blessings that we can get, the fount of blessings. Come thou fount of every blessing. Let's all sit back again as we listen to the smooth voice of the saxman, Courtney Fadlin. What a wonderful way to begin the Sabbath. These were the words of from our friends, Courtney. It's so wonderful to see so many of them tuning in. And that was from our friend Pat Gale. So what a wonderful way. Um, Thank you, Pat. There have been so many. Vivine from the Bahamas, is tuning in and enjoying. Bert, yes, Jesus saves, and he's truly happy that Jesus saves. Now, Mercedes, welcome, Mercedes. I think Mercedes
My
down
big,
in Florida
yeah,
now, and
one of my
so
biggest fans.
right. And Peter, welcome. And um, you know, your countryman and relative David Carr, they're tuned in right up there in Maryland. And
Yes,
our good
yes,
friend Val has sent greetings too. And Dolomay, I wish we could get some of your catering right now. That would really go down well.
my Lord, my God, my God.
Yeah, a wonderful Sabbath meal and Roxanne.
Yes.
And I just saw a friend from way from the past who I've just been speaking to but not seen for some time, and that's um, I think she was hiding behind a name, but I know it's Ursula McFarlane, the McFarlane tribe from Portland. Lynn, welcome. You can't hide from it,
Johnstone Road, Johnstone Road. Big up to all the people from Johnstone Road.
right? You know, and that's wonderful. And I just ask you this, Connie. What really inspired you to 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 really be playing music like this at this stage of your life? Because you could be out there, in the clubs. Oh, maybe not right now, but you could be out there doing something. What are you doing playing music for the Lord? Why?
Man, it's I've been faced with that question a lot of times. Man, the joy that I see that comes to people's faces, when you play, you go to church, or even a few times. I think you and I remember going into a jazz venue in Kingston, and I remember I played quite a few gospel pieces, and there's nothing like when someone take a drink and could start singing along with a favorite hymn. And I see the power of music, and I see what it does, and I want to stand as an encouragement, as a testament to those that would come after, because oftentimes we start in the church, and because of lack of support or the attraction of the world, we tend to leave. But I stayed. I've been in it so long. There's nothing else I could do. Some persons would say, why you believe in God? Why you believe in Jesus? And as a good friend say, he prefers to believe, and so should Jesus come, he's in the right. If he doesn't come, hey, I still believe. So I believe, and I
Right.
I want to use my gift to just bless people, man. Especially in times like these where persons are suicidal and just fed up, giving up on life. Students are discouraged because they had to leave campus and now they're home, and there's so many things going on. So I'm just grateful to God for the gift of music, because it's a very powerful gift. It's not a gift that a lot of us may recognize or respect. Um, but I always say, can you imagine being in this world without music? Just imagine being
Ah, right.
locked up, just being locked up for a month without music, hearing the birds sing. So I can't imagine that. So I think I have a special purpose on this earth, is to just bless people. Even if I don't go to my grave being an American millionaire, I may go to my grave as a Jamaican or Guyanese millionaire. But I'm just grateful to all the gifts that God has given me, and I just want to bless people, man. And basically, that's what it. Like you asked, also what inspires me, man. As a kid, I saw my dad playing music, and I never knew exactly what it meant to be a musician. Um, but I admire my dad, and I said, whenever the question has been asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? A lot of persons say a doctor and nurse and all of that. I know my mom wanted me to be a pastor. Every person from the Caribbean want their son, especially if they
Mm,
see you getting into trouble. Because Vilroy,
Amen.
I sure your mother baptized you with oil all the time until you show up
Hallelujah.
to open the door
Hallelujah.
theology or NCU. But
Oh, yes.
but I never knew what it meant, man. But it's just an art that is so you have to have dedication and passion and you tour and you manage the Aeolian, so you know the dedication and all that comes with being a musician and being a successful musician.
And so, even as you said that, I was leaving the last well wishes, the best for the last. I've got to say the best. And it was actually from your mother. Your mother, Mommy Martha, said, "That's my son. That's my son." The son continued playing for the Lord. And it's so wonderful that you actually mentioned your father. I actually met your father first. He was one of my music teachers at the at Westlands College back in the day. And the thing about your dad is that he plays every single instrument that you can think of. And yes, he's watching right now. He's watching. And I'm sure he's totally best. Say hi to your dad right now,
Yes,
Courtney.
Daddy. Big up yourself, Dad. Thank you for the genes, man. It's strong genes,
They,
not the tear ones, but strong Levi's or is Lee's. Which one? It was one of them.
that's right. Right. And as you said, you may not go to the grave as an American millionaire. But we need to help you go to the grave as some sort of millionaire, even if
My
it's a
God.
Guyanese millionaire.
Oh,
And I
God.
want to encourage everyone out there to support Courtney's ministry. All right? Courtney has dedicated his life to ministry. You can purchase its music on all the digital outlets. Please stop the bootlegging. Go and go and support the ministry. Also, Courtney has its Cash App set up. I think it's on the flyer, and it will come on screen pretty shortly. If you don't have Cash App, most people have Zelle. If you got a bank account, send it. It's Zelle is set up on his email address. That will come out with racks in the host mark if you can shoot those things up. His email address for Zelle, the Cash App ID. So because I want to ensure that people tonight support the ministry. Musicians who have dedicated themselves for the Lord need to be supported. So please support Courtney's ministry. Um, and as he said, yes, I can thank the Lord that, and I'm very glad. I'm really happy that I have a praying mother.
My God.
When I was out there, and we were out there, and
God.
I was doing my stuff and doing things. My mother's prayers. Let me tell you, the prayers of my mother. My mother would pray, Lord, if my children leave the church, please bring them back, whether they have one foot or one hand or one eye. And I'm like, woo, hold on there, mother. Hold on, mother, dear. So at times, my conscience would always bug me. And I said, you know something, Lord? I need to get back to the fold before I lose one of those limbs that my mother prayed that you would take to bring me back. And
My
I'm
God.
truly glad, and I'm happy that I made it back to the fold, right? And so that song, Come Down Found it really resonated greatly with me. And just when you look at the last verse, it says, "Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. I'm greatly in debt." He said, "Let that goodness, not my goodness, because I have no goodness whatsoever within me, but let that goodness, like a fetter, your goodness, Lord, let it bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord. I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Tonight, like you, like many others, I want to say, here's my heart. Or take and seal it. And I'm asking the Lord to seal all our hearts for his courts above. And so we're just going to continue as we listen to the um, the final set. And I think you've got is it More Than Wonderful, Courtney? Still I Rise and Total Praise.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to sit back and we're just going to listen as Courtney, blesses us again and brings to us. And if you leave the last one and if you do all that you have and then just leave the total praise and I will bring that in at the end. But thank you very much and God bless you and continue to play.
Just want to thank everyone for coming out, and all you guys have front row seats. Imagine some of you have never heard Courtney Fadlin at a concert, right? So you're here to see right in your own living room, sipping on coffee. If you don't drink coffee, you had tea. What was it? High wine. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but I'm grateful for you guys just coming out and worshiping and just enjoying music, celebrating music. Isn't it a wonderful thing? Um, I have to thank Mark Henry um, coming on board, Pastor Morris, Keith Morris, Ainsworth Morris. We spent some time yesterday, last night, trying to get this thing solved. I got a few equipment here, trying to get this thing right. Um, got up this morning, got him out of bed, California time, so we could work on this thing. We're working out for hours. Then my good buddy, sax buddy and friend, Mr. Tony Smith, he encouraged me to get something, and I called Tony. He was about to get an air. I said, Tony, I need some help. So it was myself and Tony and Pastor Morris and Mark and trying to solve this thing. And boom, after several hours, we got it figured out. All because we wanted to song right for you. Because this is something new for all of us. I've been asked over the years to teach via Skype, and I keep putting it off and never knew exactly how it's gonna sound. Didn't want to do it, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes this is the closest some of us get to church or get to a concert. So
Amen.
so sit back and enjoy. I'm gonna do a few more pieces for you. I have three, one, two, three, but I may go a little longer. Is that okay with you guys?
That's
All right,
okay.
all right. Thank you for watching, all my folks, my family in Guyana, and those guys watching in England and Jamaica and Canada. Everyone, thank you. Trinidad, what's up, Pernell? Good, 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 good.
Toronto, yeah.
Wendy,
Oh,
Toronto,
Wendy.
Canada. Hi,
Wendy.
Wendy. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Big up yourself, Rusi. I heard you're on. So, hey, the Fortunes, Los Angeles, all the California folks, and New York folks. I haven't been, even though I'm so close to New York, I haven't been in New York in a while. But guys, stay safe. In spite of what you want to hear, you're listening to. Wear on a mask. Wash your hands. Well, we wash hands. Those of us who are from the Caribbean or Caribbean background, we always washing hands, right? So we don't have a problem with that. You understand? So we always washing hands. So, but just keep safe, man. I keep praying, and my friend Don Corey, I think he's watching. Don Corey, awesome singer. Don down with this dreaded disease. He lost 31 pounds, and I'm just giving God praise for him. And quite a few friends have been hospitalized. Um, Nerva Altino, who lost his dad, he was also in the hospital. So we're giving thanks to Nerva and God sparing his life. Um, and just for all those persons who have recovered, and just keep praying. My daughter keep praying every day and asking God to get rid of this disease. Hi Denise, welcome, 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 welcome. All right, guys, I'm gonna play some music for you now. my God, my God, my God. That's one of the first songs I played sax back in the day at Western East College. More than wonderful, more than wonderful. If my friend and brother Jocelyn McFarland, hear me right now. I remember when I started playing the saxophone. My dad had the old saxophone in the music department at Western East College, and I was playing clarinet, and I decided my I remember one Sabbath morning I was supposed to play, and the clarinet wasn't working properly. But being the perfectionist my dad is, he said it was not the clarinet, it was me. I was like, man, this dude is something else. So I remember he borrowed a tenor sax from KP, Kenneth Paul. And because the clarinet is, the fingering is similar to the saxophone. So I had to play the saxophone. And so I get an interest in the saxophone. And so I end up using a very old saxophone that was the department. You can only get upper register, no low notes. Everything is up in upper register. And I remember Jocelyn brought a cassette and he said, listen, I'm getting married next year. You have an entire year to practice these two songs. One in a million you, and she believes in me. And I killed it, man. I remember I also play for Uncle Steve. Constantine was teaching at Knox College. And I remember I played and I started. So I'm grateful to Jermaine for birthing my music career. But it's just a gift and a joy to do this. More than wonderful. Um, I'm gonna do what am I gonna do now? There's a little island track, a song my friend Alex Martin and we did back in 2005 in Kingston, Jamaica. Alex is one of my producers, one of my accompanist and friend. So it's entitled Heavens Are Open. So I'm gonna play that for you right now. All right.
What a wonderful, wonderful way to spend Friday evening, welcoming the Sabbath, listening to songs of this nature, listening to Courtney play, and that song was so fitting. There's many of us who I'm going to venture to say all of us know of someone who has passed away from COVID-19, or they know of someone who knows someone who has a relative who has passed away. And at this time, Courtney mentioned earlier a few people, and you mentioned some who have recovered. And I just wanted us to just this time just bow our heads just for a moment of silence as we remember those who have passed away, the families who are hurting and grieving. It's hard. It's tough. The word said shattered. but I'm not broken. Wounded, but time will heal. Heavy, the load, the cross I bear. Lonely, the road I trod I dare. Shaken, but here I stand. Weary, but still I press on. Long are the nights, the tears I cry. Dark are the days, no sun in the skies. Yet, yet, that conjunction, yet, still I rise. Never to give up, never to give in. Against all odds, yet still I rise. High above the clouds. And there are times that I feel so low, but yet still I rise. Sometimes I troubled, but not in despair. Struggling, I make my way through. Trials they come to make me strong. I must endure. I must hold on. Oh, yet still I rise. High above those clouds. At times I feel so low, but yet still I rise. I want to thank Courtney for its ministry, for continuing throughout the years to minister to us. I want to encourage everyone out there to please support the ministry. It's very important. Support Courtney Fadlin's ministry. Again, the different ways that you can do it are up on the screen. Please support. Please give me your support so we can continue to minister like this. That many of you have sent in, great words. Courtney Pascal wants you to come to Philadelphia. I'm sure she'll organize your coming and you'll get down there. Um, and things will never be the same as they used to be. And we've all got to now adjust to the new norm. And we don't know what the future holds, but just remember this: we will rise. Some of us will fall down here on this earth. But remember, this world is not our own. We're just sojourners passing through. The important thing is for all of us to be prepared to rise when he comes again. So thank you, Courtney, for the years that you have put into this ministry.
And thank you for the years that you've been a source of encouragement and support. And you know, the world need more people like you. We fall out sometimes, but that's what family go through at times. And you have been a source of encouragement, always cheering me on. So I'm grateful for that. Um, so thank you, thank you. I just want to remember I play. I didn't want to say anything much before because I would tear up, but we have lost a good friend, Roy Ashmead Jr.
Mhm.
And Roy was one of those guys. I remember when I went to UMass and I enrolled in a master's in saxophone performance. And the final recital, I did this concerto, and it was recorded. My friend Leighton Kennedy recorded it, and I went to Roy. At that time, he was playing for a church on Sunday in Queens, himself and Tony Brady. And we sat in his car, and I played it. And he said, "Man, you play good classical music. I really like that." And he said, "No, what I want you to do? I want you to memorize that." And I remember when I did my first hymnology, I drove from Maryland. I pull up at Kingsborough, and Roy was always a prankster. He's always laughing at me because I'm one of those guys. I never drive in my dress shoes. And Roy had this thing. He said, "Brother, if I can't drive in my dress shoes, I don't want to wear that shoes." So I remember driving up, and I had on sneakers. And he said, "Where's your shoes?" I said, "You know me." So he was laughing, and he listened to the recording. It wasn't the final mix, but he listened to that recording, and I always look at him for this approval, because if Roy doesn't like it, boy, maybe it really doesn't sound good. So I just wanted to remember John and his family, Sister Ashmead, and all his slew of friends, numerous, from West Indies College days, from I guess for 70 something years there, I don't know. Um, and his family, just want to remember them in your prayers. His son. Um, and as Vilroy said, to all those who have lost loved ones, the Andersons, I lost their buried their dad a few days ago, and want to extend our condolences. And Pastor Marks lost his mom, and as I said earlier, Norval lost his dad. So many lost. And I was saying, boy, when this thing is over and we go to church, and he said, "Where's brother so and so? Where's my uncle? Same dead? Where were you?" And the hard thing is that losing someone and that you're not there to grieve, you're not there to give a hug, you know, and just to fellowship and to cry and laugh together. And I want to encourage you, as I always do, that whatever we're going through, man, don't hold malice at our friends. Um, we that know the Bible know that tomorrow is never promised. Tomorrow is not promised, but we still live our lives as if we still have tomorrow. But then this woman from Wuhan came along and decided that she's going to tell us, like, hey, life is really short because someone is here today and all of a sudden they're gone. So I'm going to pray and ask you, I'm just appealing to everyone, this, whatever you're going through, man, if you have this grudge against someone, you're not talking to your mom, your dad, whosoever it is, call them up. Call them up. Life is too short, people. And let's enjoy it. In spite of all that is happening, let's enjoy life. I'm not making any money, but I'm enjoying life. Oh, Father God, thank you for working. But I just want to thank all my friends, thank my wife and my family, my kids, and all those who have stood by me. Um, I had an awesome experience in California for 2 years. My church family there. I want to thank them, Pastor Myers, my teachers at Cal Baptist, my saxophone professor, Professor Don Saint Marseille, who took me from the beginning. When you think that you've been playing sax for a while, I thank you, sir, and all the teachers that really pour into me. And my job now is to pour into those that come in contact with me. So I'm just asking God to continue to give me this platform, this opportunity, not just to stand and to play and to give testimonies, but to be able to stand and teach and impart knowledge. It's very important. So God bless you. I was going to do one more song here, but I'm going to do oldie. This is Mrs. Francis and a lot of people around. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. All that is good and perfect comes from you. This was written by Richard Smallwood and is it Bill Gaither? Somebody. But I feel I should do that. But God bless you guys. For those of us who are celebrating the Sabbath, happy Sabbath to you. All righty, let me find that. Comes from all that is good and perfect comes from you. Scent of my joy, scent of my joy. Yeah, greetings for those just tuning in. I'm about to just my last piece. Just again, just grateful to my friends. Thank you, Dr. McBean. I know it's no, it's still early because I know you're a man. Go to bed early and get up early. But thanks for coming on board. My wife and my kids are keeping quiet right now, so they're not disturbing me. Can you imagine my kids would say to me, Daddy, why aren't you practicing? Every day they want me to practice. I don't know how many of you have kids that actually say to you, you need to practice, Daddy. So I'm grateful that my kids would come at me and say, Dad, you need to practice. So big up Caleb and Lee McKay. I remember Michaela used to say the same thing to me. Michaela used to like when I played the flute. And CJ would always, even now, he likes to take my saxophone around. Want everybody to know that's my dad. So I'm grateful for you guys. You know what? I want to ask you a favor. If for some reason along the way our path cross and I've been an inspiration to you, maybe to get into singing or playing the saxophone, drop me a note, refresh my memory, Also, if you've always wanted to learn a saxophone, clarinet, or flute, and you want to learn to play, send me an inbox. If you can't afford it, send me an inbox. Don't inbox me if you could afford it and you don't want to pay. But God has just put it in my heart. So if you have, can't take a whole bunch of people, but if your son or daughter wants to play the saxophone, clarinet, or flute, I just want to be a blessing to that person. So jot me an email, Dr. McBean. You could send him messages as well, um, and we'll take it from there. But God bless you, my folks in Jamaica, Uncle Gillian, Aunt G. Love you. I'm so grateful that God has kept Uncle Gilly going strong at 91. He's still here. Uncle Milton McKinn, um, and who've gone through so much in the past couple of years. And I, even my dad, my dad coded a few years ago. My dad got very sick, and I gave up. One of my brothers got upset because he said, "You guys trying to bury my dad." And I remember calling Dr. McBean, who is a funeral director, and I said, "What is the best option?" My wife would talk to some of the doctors, and she would at times say, "Why don't you try this?" or "Have you done this?" and stuff like that. Um, and I remember I'm saying, "My dad is gone," and she said, "No, he'd be all right." Even though he coded and they brought him back. His doctor gave up, and was a lot of crying for weeks. And my dad was very sick for months. Some persons may not have known that my dad wasn't even able to walk. We had to put a lift so he could get up and down. Um, and now my dad is able to go and farm. He would sit at times. He's not that young, but the fact that I remember sometime last year I was in Virginia, and I took him to a doctor's appointment, and he had his walker, and he said, "No, I'll walk." And I was like, "Wow." I didn't remember when we had to lift him up, and it's very hard, to have to lift a parent up, and you're thinking that this is it. So I'm grateful that my dad is still around. He could still enjoy the blessings of God, and we're all gonna go through things, man. We're gonna lose loved ones. We're not here forever. So just love on somebody, love on people, right? Love on people. Just love on people, man.
That's
And
right. That's right.
just love on people. So I'm just grateful for all of you, those who have poured into me, all my friends. You know yourselves. I've called some of you. I can't call everyone, but those who have fed me and encouragement, and whatever you did for me along the way, man. Be up on yourself. Happy Sabbath. Happy weekend to all of you. And I'm just gonna play my last piece. God bless you. Take care. And I always say that if we do not reach on this side of life, my prayers that we'll see each other in the earth made new. All right. God bless you.